We realized that that wildlife could at times become a burden to landowners and their crops, and so we wanted to be able to work with them to help protect their crops from wildlife damage, and at the same time we wanted to work with sportsmen to get them to become a better quality individual that wouldn't trespass, that wouldn't tear down gates, that wouldn't litter and all those other things, in hopes that then they could get onto the private lands and help with our depredation problem. We came up with a program where we paid depredation damages if we couldn't stop it, and we had an individual in all 7 regions of the state working with landowners to stop the damage. We went to work with our Hunter Ed program to help get a better quality sportsman out there, and we thought we were doing pretty good. And so then we decided we might go a little farther to help the landowner, and we decided that if we couldn't get rid of the depredation damage, we would give them tags that they could hand out to workers and family, and then they could take does and fawns and cows and calves to keep the damage down on their property. So they could hand out tags for that, and for several years that worked very, very well. However, it turned into another thing where all of a sudden it was bulls and bucks anywhere in the unit and not just on their property, and that made sportsmen a little upset, but we realized that they were having damages, and even though the bulls and bucks probably weren't the ones causing it, that would help out with their aggravation with the animal damage complaints on their property. What we're seeing is that going from trying to help with depredation damage is now going to help landowners with additional monies for their operation. Legislation is going to be introduced in the very near future that will allow landowners to obtain tags from Fish and Game and then sell them to the highest bidder. And also the Fish and Game being forced to sell tags to the highest bidder. You ask yourself, well, what will that do? Well, to the highest bidder means people that have a lot of money. In fact, there was a deer tag that sold in Utah last week for $390,000 for one deer tag. So you can see what happens to the price of wildlife when they go to the highest bidder. It will eliminate our sportsmen from having a chance at the really good tags in the really good areas, because they're going to be sold and the state's wildlife is going to turn into a marketable resource for the rich.